I think it's kind of weird that a What If comic would be one of the funniest comics. At least I think it's one of the funniest comics. This issue is one of the funniest comics. Because What If was usually a really serious title. If you don't know what If was, if you don't know what If was, it's tough to say. What If was Marvel's What If was Marvel's alternative universe. Is it alternative or alternate? It's alternate universe comic book. And every issue would present a different alternative reality. And here's one of my favorites. I'm gonna pick another one. Pick another one here. Like, this was, what if Spider-Man had rescued Gwen Stacy? And in this issue, Peter Parker's, first love, there she is. I don't think Betty Brant counts. Anyways, Gwen Stacy survives the fall that killed her in, Spider-Man, I think it was 121, right? And so you'd think this would be a happy comic book, right? So instead, something else bad happens at the end. I think it's like Peter Parker's on the run and he still can't be with Gwen Stacy. But, at least she's still alive. Along with her clones, I think. Ugh, the clones. That was such a stupid storyline. Anyways, these comic books were usually really serious. And almost every issue had something grim. And it's not depressing. It's just that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what choices you make, you're still going to have difficulties. You're still going to have challenges. And none of those alternate realities are going to be perfect because, that's life. All right, anyways. So here's the funny issue that I was talking about, and it's a lot of comic book humor, but it's unique. And so even though I sold most of my comic books a few years ago, I kept this one because it's funny and it's unique. So let's take a look at this. And it starts off with the Watcher. And a friend of mine used to hate. A friend of mine used to hate the Watcher. There's just the serious Watcher, then but he used to hate the Watcher. He'd say I hate the Watcher. All he does is watch. Which is kind of the point. Okay, so this came out in 1982. I was in high school when this came out, but the friend who didn't like the Watcher, he probably said that we were either in elementary school or in junior high. So that's what we did. All right, so we got, start off with some Fred Hembeck. If you don't know who I'm not going to explain who Fred Hembeck was. And there's, all right, Nick Fury. So some of this might just be for hardcore 1980s comic book fans. But let's see. So we do. What if the Ghost Rider had possessed someone else? And so you got perverted Ghost Grandpa, and then you've got Ghost Skater, and then he's got nice legs, and then you got Ghost Baby. Okay, what if everyone who'd ever been an Avenger had remained an Avenger? And the Avengers actually did something like that. There's an issue, might have been 1982, where. Was it like 181 where they had all the Avengers and some CIA guy was, okay, you're going to be an Avenger and you're going to be an Avenger and you're not going to be an Avenger. And so it's a writer, Jim Shooter. It's weird kind of seeing Jim Shooter writing something humorous because he seemed like such a lot of people hated him. All right, what if him and America, I'm not going to explain that one. Yeah, Black Bolt got the hiccups and then Galactus ate. Now is that... See, the thing is, this didn't make sense because I know Galactus ate a lot of planets, and so he'd be doing that anyways. It just wouldn't be Earth. And then, all right, Quasar is not such a big thing, so I don't do that one. Okay, what if the Hulk were yellow? Okay, dyed her hair, no one can see it, right? What if Power Man were white? Hug the wall, sucker. Luke Cage is a funky honky. All right, well, congratulations, Luke. You're no longer marginalized. But, writer, who wrote that? See, the person who wrote that doesn't want to even take credit for it because it says script, stories, artists, draw pictures, and then he's crying. So he's the slobbering. It's slobbering time. All right, what if Captain Marvel hadn't died, we would never have had Carol Danvers Captain Marvel, and I think the MCU would probably be a lot happier about that. Phoenix still lived, we wouldn't have had that Dark Phoenix movie. Two Dark Phoenix movies. Everybody hates. Oh wait, what's this? Ordinary People. Sure, let's catch Ordinary. You don't take your date to see Ordinary People because that was a really depressing movie. Like the oldest kid dies and then the youngest one wants to commit suicide, and I think one of the characters did commit suicide. It wasn't the youngest one. Anyways, Elektra, maybe she'll get married. All right. Yeah, a couple decades ago, I probably would have took her up on that. All right, there you go. Was that an ad? I think this is... Because that looks like the cover for Hercules, the miniseries #1. Wait, is this part of the... I'm not going to read it and find out. Okay, so you've got Dazzler. Oh man, she was really 1980s. If you don't know Dazzler, that was one of those comic books that I think they put out just to see if people would actually buy it. Yeah, we're Marvel, we can put anything out. So let's see your joke. A guy walked up to me and said he hadn't had a bite in weeks, so I bit him. Well, you know what? That's actually funnier than most of Netflix's comedy specials. So, maybe this comic book should get a Netflix special. All right, what do we got here? Spidey intellectual stories. All right, now that's from the Electric Company. That was a PBS show back in the 1970s, and they put out a Spidey Super Stories, which was like it was for like elementary, like first grade Spider-Mans. It was for elementary kids. So it was really simplified Spider-Man stories. And so, for a select audience, if you make the watcher yawn, then you know you're boring. All right, so what if? Okay, so I don't know if people know Willie Lumpkin, Ghost Rider, Burger Hell, and then you got. They moved to Toledo to sit around. What if they have shawarma? And then you've got Watchers watching Watchers. That's really exciting. Is there a Popeye in there? Because I thought I remembered a Popeye. Okay, Elmer Fudd. But no Popeyes. All right, so what you got? What if... So you have Howard the Duck with his own super team. That would actually make a decent movie. Thor had a Swedish accent. Okay, lame. What if we're gonna see... All right. And what's this? Dear Marvel, lawyer sent you... Oh, okay, that's right. Because because if they were women, it'd be Wonder Woman and Power Girl. Okay, got it. Okay, Black Bolt being the rock star, and the whole thing comes down. Daredevil, whoops. We're deaf instead of blind. Okay, I don't know if you get away with that today because you're mocking disabilities. Not really, you're mocking Daredevil. Alright, the concept of Daredevil. Okay, this is going to be dated humor, probably. Tony Stark had owned auto plants instead of a weapons factory. Lame but funny. Sue Storm become the Thing. And then you have the Thing. Okay. And the Thing, okay, people probably not understand that humor, but he had a lot of identities. And then Watcher grows hair. Alright, and then people don't remember. Okay, and this is, golly, what was the Canadian humor back in the early 1980s? Oh, okay. And then, of course, a bunch of the white characters, and then a bunch of the black. Okay. I wonder if anyone would have a problem with that. And then more stuff with Moon Knight and his identities. Look at those letters pages. Why not? And then advertisement for Spider-Woman. Some of those actually are pretty good. I think Chris Claremont later on was doing something. Look at all these. Wait, Marvel checklist. How many of these did I used to buy? Man, oh man, how many of these? Marvel Team America sucked. Spider-Woman, G.I. Joe, Dazzler, Kazar, disappointing. I don't remember Dennis the Menace. Daredevil back then probably was pretty good. Spider-Man, no, wasn't very good. No, wasn't very good back then. Micronauts, then no, wasn't very good. Moon Knight probably was pretty good. Doctor Strange was about to become really good. Hulks, I don't remember. Ooh, Avengers back then, that was a bad run. Conan, no good back then. Marvel Tales, reprinting which ones? Lee and Ditko, so those would be good. X-Men, okay, back then Rom sucked. Alright, so a lot of these weren't very good. They say the 80s were really good for comic books, but it was really sporadic. You had a lot of junk and then a few really great things. Okay, King being Conan. I forgot about that one. Oops, there's my finger again. And then, let's see. What else? Black Bolt hosted a talk show. Okay, in the 1980s, I think there were like 3. I know Carson had a show. I don't know, Letterman. I think Carson Letterman might have been it back then. And then, okay, his pants didn't stretch. Oh, the leader. So he was like a smart version of the Hulk. I think the madder he got, the smarter he got. That guy looks pretty mad. Okay, so if Aunt May becomes a superhero, okay, kind of lame. And then, yeah, that's true. Her invisible power wouldn't be very useful if if she didn't have the unstable molecules. All right, so then we got I don't know if you want Doctor Doom as your salesperson. Well, if you don't buy my comic book, and then Marvel Superstore. I wonder if that's still in business. What if Hulk married the She-Hulk? Weren't they cousins? I think they were cousins. God, they'd be like the Roosevelts. And then you got the She-Hulk, and this is kind of like the Blondie comic strip. Dagwood. Let me see that big sandwich. Is that the big sandwich? Come on, there you go. See, there's Hulk with the sandwich, like Dagwood used to have those super subs. And then, what do you have here? Not volunteers. All right, Dazzler. Man, there's a lot of Dazzler. I think they're really pushing Dazzler back in the 1980s. Doctor Strange for an ordinary magician. Where's is Dormammu in there? And then, what? I don't know who that is. I know it's a Dick Tracy takeoff, but I don't know who Noxie the Clown is. So there's an 80s reference I don't have. Let's look at some of these comic books and see if these were any good. That wasn't very good. Oh, that was all right. That was an okay comic book. I don't remember that one. And, oops, I don't remember that one. And Peter Parker Spectacular. That was kind of weird. The Cloak and Dagger stuff is really weird back in the 80s. Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, that's not part of the What If. That's weird. You can't tell what's part of the What If and what isn't. Okay, another Daredevil could see. He gets scared and runs. Okay, Thor gets a haircut. I think that was part of the MCU. What is Spider-Man? All right. And then Iron Man had an eating problem instead of a drinking problem. And then I think Thor had that. And again, we're not making fun of people with problems. And then you had what else? Doctor Doom had a sense of humor. It's kind of like What If had a sense of humor. What if Galactus, he's selling the Silver Surfer. Okay, that's kind of funny. You're all fired. Enough said. And that's it. And they're trying to still pitch G.I. Joe back then. All right, so that's it. That is What If number 34. It's what I think is one of the funniest Marvel comics out there. It's probably funnier than anything that you're going to see on Netflix. But only if you collect comic books. So if you collect comic books, this might be one to get.